Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzamansahebalahbadi Barakatuhum, which took place on Friday. Friday, the 27th of Jumadul Akhirah, 1447, the 19th of December 2025. This majlis took place after the Magarib Salat at Jamia Ahmadiyya Ulumul Quran, Sawala, Visnagar, Mahsana. Our Hazrat Wala is saying, Dosto, Buzrugo, Azizo, friends, elders and most dearest ones, I didn't even have it in my furthest thoughts that I would have to come and start off with a bayan. I thought I'm going to be taken to some place, maybe to rest or something. I just came to find out now that I have to make some bayan. So I have a kitab. Sometimes Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to read from the kitab, and sometimes he would just give it a talk without having a kitab in front of him. But the asal maqsood is to pass on the message. And he would go on to say that I am taking the kitab and reading from this kitab. I have made things easy for you people. And we also learn for a person to give a talk and it is not necessary for him to give it just like that, the zabani, by heart, as we would say. Okay, let's continue. Our Hazrat Wala is saying that no matter what good of this world or of the akhirat you hope for, ask it from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Beg and beseech Him for its acquisition. Allah ta'ala promised to accept the dua of the one who calls to Him, beseeches Him and begs Him. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمُ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Your Rabb says, call to me so that I may respond to your call. So our Hazrat Wala is saying that Hazrat Maulana Abrar al-Haq on some occasion asked us to do something, and when he came he asked us about it and we said we were unable to do it, and he went on to say, why didn't you make dua? And we said we made dua, and he went on to say, then why did you become or lose hope? You should have continued and persisted in making dua. This dua, bahut bari daulat hai. It is a great treasure. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab had always the habit of making dua. And Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Ahmad Sahab himself, we would say he was dua. He was an embodiment of dua. And I seen this year what Hazrat Wala is saying much when I went to the Buzrugan-e-Deen. On one occasion, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab was speaking about dua. And thereafter, he just went on to say, look at that student. And that student was from Jaunpur. And he said, look at what persistence, how he's beseeching and begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his dua. At that time there, we actually felt ashamed. So Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, with what persistence, with what humbleness he would carry out dua. And he was very, very particular about dua. And everybody would go to Allahabad to Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahab for dua. Maulana Abrar al-Haq himself used to go for dua to Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahab. And Mufti Mahmud Sahab used to write for dua to Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahab. And what can I tell you about these people? I didn't know who was the Peer and who was the Murid, because they all showed so much of azmat, respect to one another. قال أمير المؤمنين عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه: إني لا أحمل هم الإجابة ولكن هم الدعاء، فإذا ألهمت الدعاء فإن الإجابة معه. Amir al-Mu'mineen Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala an said, I do not bear the worry of acceptance and qubuliyat, but the worry of dua. Once I have been inspired to make dua, it will be accompanied by acceptance. Mutarrif ibn Shikhir said, I thought of the thing that combines all good. I concluded that there are many acts of goodness such as fasting and salah. Also, it is solely in Allah's hand, and you cannot get what is in Allah's hand unless you ask Him for it. Thus, dua is the thing which combines all good. As regards to purification, tazkiyah, there is an authentic hadith which states that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said the following dua: Allahumma aati nafsi taqwaha wa zakkiha anta khayru man zakkaha anta waliyuha wa maulaha. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to recommend this dua tremendously. O Allah, give piety to my soul and purify it. You alone are the best to purify it. You alone are its owner and its master. Now this dua draws our attention to the fact that tazkiyah, purification of the nafs, is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the knower of the unseen, and that its greatest key is dua and beseeching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to make this dua quite often. Ya muqallibal qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. O turner of hearts, keep my heart firm on your deen. You know, we're saying to be firm, that jamao. Many people, our Hazrat Wala says, they start. After that, they are not firm, they go away. In fact, Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Ahmad Sahib asked and said on some occasion that where's certain person? He came for a little while and then he left. When a person has presence of heart, his need is genuine, his hope is strong, he is not hasty in the acceptance of dua, and he makes it a point to make dua at the most recommended times, then his dua will not be rejected. Allahu Akbar. The greatest thing to help you in dua is your realization that the purification, the tazkiyah of your nafs is in Allah's hand. He is the one who purifies whomsoever He wills. Everything is in His control and under His will. Balillahu yuzakki man yasha. In fact, it is Allah who purifies whomsoever He wills. Walawla fadlullahi alaykum wa rahmatuhu ma zaka minkum min ahadin abada. Walakin Allah yuzakki man yasha. Wallahu sami'un alim. Were it not for Allah's favor upon you and His mercy, not a single person of you would have ever been purified. However, Allah purifies whomever He wills. Allah hears everything, knows everything. Now we learn that guidance, iman, and all other good are solely in Allah's control. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had been embedding this in the hearts of the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum and emphasizing on them to continue in this way. He used to commence his khutbahs in the words, مَن يَهْدِهِ اللَّهُ فَلَا مُضِلَّ لَهُ وَمَن يُضْلِلْهُ فَلَا هَادِيَ لَهُ. The one whom Allah guides, none can lead astray, and the one whom Allah causes to go astray, none can guide. Now this principle is the greatest door. This principle of tazkiyah, dua, it is the greatest door to purification of the nafs. The person who realizes that righteousness, purification, steadfastness of his nafs are in Allah's control will seek refuge in Him. He will fall at His threshold and beseech Him so that he may realize the purification of the self from Him, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and its salvation and success in this world and in the year after. Now Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, with much humility and with much beseeching and persistence, would make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just like how a child would persist. Here the majma is so big, we also make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah ta'ala accepts, and Allah ta'ala continuously gives us the tawfiq to continue in this learning and teaching. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.